What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another Dragonflight video. This is it, baby. We're talking about my main for Season 2 in Dragonflight. It's just around the corner. It's literally like in a week, less than a week. So, let me get this out to you guys and let me explain to you my reasoning for the specs that I'm not going to be choosing and the spec that I am going to be choosing for my main. And I do want to make sure that I mention like all the different specs and which ones I'm not going to be choosing, because I think it's important to understand why and understand that I don't think half of these specs are really bad. And we're going to start with where we began in Dragonflight, which was the Shadow Priest. I thoroughly enjoyed Shadow Priest. I really did. But ultimately for me, I have to get back to playing melee. It's one of those weird things where like it's just ingrained in my soul. I think every player in WoW either has that melee soul or a range soul. I think it's there. And I think that you either pick or choose one or the other, and you sort of naturally gravitate to one or the other. Obviously, a lot of my progression in keys and in the raid came on Shaman, on Resto Shaman, which is range, but my heart really remains for all the melee specs in the game, which you saw me deviate to over the course of this expansion so far. Things like Survival Hunter and Enhancement Shaman, moving in that direction more so with my time spent. So, Shadow Priest for me is going to be something that I'm going to try and explore, I think, later into Season 2 if I have time. Realistically, it's not something I'm going to start with, and it's on the lowest end of my priority list. Their tier set bonus is actually looking pretty cool, to be honest. And the emphasis being pulled away from Mindseer, I think, is also kind of cool. Mindseer is going to be gone in the next patch, right? Psychic Link is moved up. I think this opens up a lot of new build possibilities, something like the Death Speaker build that I was trying out, you know, early on in the Shadowlands or Dragonflight experience, sorry, when we first got here. I love this idea of Death Speaker, and I think it can continue on into 10.1, but a lot of the builds have gravitated away from it more recently, and that's kind of sad for me. But ultimately, I like the direction that they're going with Shadow Priest, and don't be discouraged by me not picking it. If you really still like Shadow Priest, it's going to be strong. I promise you it's going to have AoE damage. It just looks a little bit different than it did in 10.0.7 or 10.0.5. So definitely if you want to play this thing, keep going on it. It's going to be good. It's just not something I'm going to realistically be playing in Season 2. The next one on my list is, of course, Druid. I actually really enjoy playing Guardian Druid. I love how the talent trees have essentially worked out for Guardian Druid. I like that there's multiple different builds, in my opinion. This is my favorite build to run right now. It's a Raze-focused build with Dream of Cenarius and Ursox and a bunch of cool stuff going on there. I think Guardian is like one of my favorite tanks to actually play in the game. Unfortunately, again, this is a timing thing. If I had more time in my day to spend just leveling these things and gearing them up and getting more Valor, which is obviously going to change in the next patch, but I just don't have time to do all of that, and it's so infuriating sometimes. I wish that we kind of have more time to do that, but I don't really. One thing that's cool about Guardian Druid is that Ursox is getting buffed in 10.1. It's going from 50% shield to a 60% shield, and the tier set bonus has an emphasis on Maul or Raze. You can see the four-piece bonus there. Raze damage increased by 20%, and Raze increases your maximum health by 3% for 12 seconds. It's a really cool tier set bonus. It's very much in the Guardian Druid wheelhouse of increasing your maximum health. I think Guardian Druids are going to have some outrageous health numbers moving into 10.1 if they want to emphasize that. If they want to just like push all their gear into giving them health, then their tier set bonus is going to give you health as well. That's a cool direction, I think, for Guardian Druid. And ultimately, I do hope that the Raze type build, where you're focusing on Ursox with Raze and you're focusing less on the Moonfire stuff, I do hope that can make its way into 10.1. And this is a spec that I'm going to be trying to take a look at eventually, but it's close to the bottom of my list in terms of my time that I can actually allocate to different specs. So unfortunately, I'm not sure if this will see play. It depends how quickly we can accumulate our tier set bonuses and all that kind of stuff. But ultimately, I would love to play Guardian Druid, and I think it's actually going to be very strong in 10.1. It's going to be a good tank. Maybe it might not be very strong, like top of the meters or anything, but I think the tier set bonus is pretty good, giving you extra rage generation, extra damage, extra healing, and that extra health that I mentioned before. So if you're thinking of playing Guardian Druid, I would pick it up in 10.1. It's going to be good. I think it's going to be quite strong. So unfortunately for me, again, it's a time issue. I just don't have enough time in the day to be able to do it. So I wish there was like 36 hours in a day, and then I could definitely take a crack at this thing. Survival's next on the list. Honestly, I'm almost the most sad, I think, for survival. The tier set bonus looks really cool. Absolutely, it's like one of the coolest looking tier set bonuses. But survival is in a place where it needs to have some big changes to the talent tree to make me really want to go back and play this thing. I love it. I love the bomb playstyle. Like, I love the Fury of the Eagle. I love pressing this button. But there are certain talents here that are just really, like, frustrating and serve no purpose whatsoever. First of all, there's a couple things in survival that just needs to go like baseline. Wildfire Infusion needs to go baseline. Nobody is not picking this thing up. Everybody takes Wildfire Infusion. Just make it baseline. Mongoose Bite needs to just replace Raptor Strike. They need to just move Mongoose Bite up here and then get rid of Wildfire Infusion. They need to get rid of this talent. 4% critical damage dealt is so stupid for 2 points. They need to get rid of this quick shot thing. Arcane shot is just not an idea that should exist within the survival hunter like metric in my mind. And then they need to, like, buff Bombardier in some way and make it actually, like, a relevant choice compared to Birds of Prey, which is obviously the better choice. I'm not sure why I have Bombardier chosen right now. Let's just not look at that. What I think they should do for Survival Hunter is bring back all the trap stuff. Again, move Mongoose Bite up here. Put maybe Steel Trap over here where Mongoose Bite was. Or put some Trap Mastery stuff down here. Make an actual choice in the builds that we can do. Do something cooler with Spearhead, because it's kind of a frustrating thing. It's not that nobody takes Spearhead. It is something you can run in the single target builds if you want to. But, like, they just need to do some buffs to the talent tree. For sure, there needs to be some buffs here, because this is a bit of a frustrating thing. They have done some changes, like adding the auto attacks with lunge bonus coming through, which is super cool, and then making Ruthless Marauder only 2 points. That's a great start. I think they need to make some bigger changes. I hope they give it like the Shadow Priest treatment or the Ret Paladin treatment. Honestly, they need to do that for Survival Hunter to make it more fun and more playable. It's a huge problem right now in my mind. So this is one of my favorite melee specs to play. I absolutely love this thing. It's just, what did I just press? It's so good to play. Fury of the Eagle feels really fun. The bombs feel really fun. I like Coordinated Assault. I like a lot of the things about it, but they just need to change some stuff to make this so that I'm willing to, like, dump more time into it. Because one of the more exciting classes to play right now is, of course, the Ret Paladin, which got a huge rework, and it's so much fun to play now. So I'll get to that in a minute, but I really, really hope that they make some big changes for Survival Hunter and make it so that it's just a more appealing class to want to play. It's something that I will be spending some time doing. This is kind of like my second melee class that I want to really dive into. Maybe my third, I guess, depending on how the raid goes. But ideally, this is going to be kind of like my second melee DPS that I want to be playing. I really do enjoy it, but I really hope that there's some buffs coming because it's kind of frustrating in the state that it's in right now. So hopefully I have enough time to dedicate to playing this sucker because I really do enjoy it quite a bit, and I just wanted to get a little bit better. Even the tier set bonus, like I was mentioning before, it's just kind of, it's all about bombs again, and it's a little bit boring. It's about kill command and bombs, and we've seen a lot of that. It's just not terribly interesting. It's kind of more of the same. So I have high hopes for Survival Hunter that Blizzard is going to do some tweaking like it did with S-Priest and Ret Paladin. We'll have to wait and see on that. Mistweaver Monk, let's go. This thing is, like, really surprised me. I was so shocked when I started trying Mistweaver and giving it a really, really good try and being like, how do I'm trying to figure this thing out. How does this thing heal? How does it do damage? How does it do anything? And really, you just have to spin. That's the bulk of it. You put Phalanx down and you spin. I'm just kidding. There's a lot more to it, but I'm excited to play Mistweaver in 10.1. The tier set bonus is looking pretty cool. Gives you a bunch of mana back, which allows you to potentially spam your spells more aggressively to try and fish for more damage and more healing. And then getting the extra, drinking a tea gives you that extra boost to your Renewing Mist and your Vivify. You can see I press it right here. I get a big buff. I can do huge Vivifies for a lot of health. So I'm excited for the tier set bonus for Mistweaver, and I just love the play style of Mistweaver. I love the Feline Stomp stuff. I love Shaylin's Gift. It's so huge. I love popping Chi-Ji and just going wild. There's so many good feeling moments with Mistweaver. It just feels good to play, and nobody is really playing it. That's another big reason why I'm definitely going to spend some time on Mistweaver. So this shocked me kind of more than anything, but this is going to be probably my healer if I can heal with it as much as I want to. It depends on how the raid kind of goes for me and what the team needs me to roll with in the raid. I might have to roll something else, but ideally I'm going to want to be playing as much Mistweaver as possible because I really do enjoy the playstyle and I would like to play it more. I just didn't spend a lot of time on it at the beginning of Dragonflight. It didn't come in until like 10.0.7. That's when I really started playing it. So now I'm like really in love with the thing and I want to play it more. So we're going to see how many opportunities I actually have to play it in the upcoming tier. I hope there's a lot because I love the play style. I love the upcoming tier set bonus and it's just really, really fun to play. If you haven't played Mistweaver and you're thinking about a healer to play, it is the best combat healer that I have played. Like, it's better than Ret Paladin to me, and it's better than Disc Priest. Or, sorry, Holy Paladin and Disc Priest, in my opinion. It is so much fun, and it pumps so much healing for very little investment. I'm serious. You can just, like, run into an AoE pack and pop Phaline and spin, and you're doing, like, 50k AoE healing and a bunch of DPS as well. So, it is awesome. It's phenomenal. So phenomenal. So give it a shot if you're curious about it and you want me to maybe do more videos on it. Let me know. I would love to hear from you guys about that. But definitely, I'm thinking about Mistweaver as a healer, possibly my go-to healer for the next coming patch. I really love this. All right, we're getting down to the wire here. This is, of course, the Paladin, and man, this thing is so much fun. The Ret Paladin in particular has been just the best rework I think they've done in, like, the last several years. Like, there is no doubt about it. This rework on Paladin, especially all the class tree stuff as well, it feels so much fun to play. It pumps so much damage in AoE. Triple Wake of Ashes is one of the funnest abilities you will ever press in your life. It does so much damage, and it just feels really cool when you press it. Like, I can't overstate how good this thing is. Defensively, it feels good now. We got Divine Protection back. We have Shield of Vengeance. They're both buffed with Aegis of Protection. We have an instant flash of light every 6 seconds. Like, there are just so many good things. We have movement speed buffs with Freedom. God, like, there are so many quality of life things that got completely fixed for Ret Paladin and Paladin in general. It is way more fun to play now. So I'm definitely going to be playing Ret Paladin a lot as a big melee DPS. And if I need to tank some keys on Prop Paladin, I love Prop Paladin as well. I love all three of these specs. I think that Holy Paladin for me has taken a backseat to Mistweaver now, but Protection Paladin is still one of my favorite tanks to play and something that I will absolutely be pulling out if I need to be tanking dungeons for people in Mythic Plus or whatever the case might be. I'm going to be doing a bunch of prot stuff as well. But Ret Paladin is definitely where it's at. If you guys are interested in playing a melee DPS, this is absolutely where it's at now. This is one of the best melee DPS to play, period. It is so much fun. It is crazy AoE damage. You can spec for good single target damage. And the tier set bonus that's coming, it got changed in the last couple of weeks if you didn't know. But basically, your Judgment and Hammer of Wrath deal more damage, so more single target damage. And then your Hammer of Wrath will now hit 4 targets near your initial target, so 5 targets in total for 20% of its damage. That is so cool and so much fun, and additional cleave damage. When you combo that with Vengeful Wrath, you can start getting some really cool combos where your Hammer of Wrath is now always critting. It's always doing extra splash damage. You might want to try and spec into things like Vanguard's Momentum to get an extra charge, and then, of course, Final Verdict to have Templar's Final Verdict sort of reset the cooldown on Hammer of Wrath and let you cast it again and again and again and get the splash damage going. So really cool stuff going on with the tier set bonus. I can't wait to pick this up in 10.1, and I can't wait to play Ret Paladin in 10.1. It's going to be an absolute blast. Here we are, baby. We have arrived. This is the new cavern. Zeralite Caverns here. Of course, I'm going to be starting out the new patch with my Shaman. Now, a big question that I still have yet to answer is whether or not I will be beginning this patch coming up with Enhancement Shaman or Resto Shaman. And I'm not sure entirely what the raid lead that I'm... Oh, I'm going to die. Oh, I'm alive! Oh, everything's fine, guys. Everything's fine. I'm not sure what the raid lead wants to do yet, so we're going to have to wait and see kind of where that's going to go. But either way, I'm going to be playing Enhancement Shaman or Resto Shaman as my main, and it's going to be something that I'm going to be spending the bulk of my time doing. It's going to be my main for sure, and I'm going to spend less time playing the other guys. But doesn't mean I'm not going to be playing them at all. It's just going to be about how quickly can I progress in my gear and getting into the raid and getting all the gear from there in Mythic Plus. How quickly can that go? And that'll leave me more time to do stuff on my ult characters, of course. But this is going to be it, guys. I'm going to be doing Shaman. I'm going to be producing Shaman content for you for sure for the first little while. And then we're going to try and get to things like the Ret Pally, the Mistweaver, and the Survival Hunter, and then possibly more from there. But this is going to be it. And I'm very, very excited to be kind of back on my main. I've been playing this for the last little while, of course. But to be starting a tier with the main character that I think I'm going to go the furthest with is going to be really exciting. So If you guys love all the Shaman stuff, keep following me here. Keep watching these videos. I'm going to have way more content for you. We're going to talk about the Elementalist build. We're going to talk about the physical build. We're going to talk about the Hailstorm build and how it connects with the tier set bonus that's coming for Enhancement Shaman, which I think is one of the best tier set bonuses across the board. I love this emphasis on physical and fire damage and the Mastery buff. It's going to be really, really good. The Resto Shaman tier set is also really cool, giving you that Tidebringers kind of buff. It's back to like a Riptide playstyle, which I really do enjoy. I love having this kind of Riptide emphasis. So we're going to have to see how that jumbles up the talents a little bit. I still think you're going to want to take Tidebringer. It's going to be really important. But this new emphasis might make you want to switch over to Primal Tidal Core instead of High Tide. Again, you can see here, when you cast Healing Rain, everybody with your Riptide on them is healed. So, again, there's some interesting kind of synergy there with Riptide. We're going to have to wait and see how that kind of pans out. But I am excited for Shaman, guys, in 10.1. It's going to be really awesome. That's going to be my main character that I start with. And then we're going to pivot a little bit into things like the Paladin, Survival Hunter, Mistweaver. We'll kind of go from there. So, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What are you going to be maining in Season 2 of Dragonflight? It's only a week away. It's actually less than a week away. So what are you guys going to be picking up as your main character moving into Season 2 and why? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much again for watching, guys. I love you all. I will see you in the next one.